Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. This is Vinod from myself Academy, teaching you Excel User Series 3.0. Just now we finished our video number 2, and I'm continuing our video number 2.1 for the balance 2 formulas that we are about to use. In our previous video, we saw how to work with the left and right function and TEXTBEFORE and TEXTAFTER function in a list, and in the next dimension I'm going to teach you how to use to extract the data from the middle of the data. So here I have the logic one more time. Again, this time I'm a little lucky. I have only 3 characters in all my data set. Again, I'm going to make this data a little different here. So I'm going to use the old school method first, in the new school way. Again, I've mentioned in our previous video that whether I'm going to use a search or a find function here. This time around I'm going to use a find function, and again the find function syntax remains literally same what a search function does, but search function is a little different in the output point. Again, I'm extracting an hyphen here, so I'm not going to really worry about whether it is a case sensitive point, because there is no case sensitivity lies in a special character here. So I'm going to just say equals find, and then I'm going to say double quotes, hyphen double quotes. The syntax still remains same. Give a comma, select the text and close the bracket and give an enter. Anyway, it's going to give you the number where my data lies in this list. But this time around I'm not going to take the data neither on the left hand side nor on the right hand side, but at the center of my data. This is where my next formula will be very handy for me. So let me just pick up the formula from the list. So I'm going to just take this formula. Okay, so I think that I formula text. So I want these dimensions here. So I use the find function to achieve my first assignment. Okay, sorry, equals formula text. Sorry about that, I'm building this one by one. I'll build it a much earlier one, but I didn't do that. I'm sorry about that. So now I got my formulas for the first list, and then I'm going to convert that into a value. And then I come back here. I'm going to just say I want to use a mid function because I'm going to extract 2, 3, 4 from the data set. 2, 3, 4 lies in my part number, the whole part number in the middle of the data. Again, when I use a mid function, it's going to be a little different because I want to tell you one more dimension additionally here in the formula called where my data starts from. So that's what mid function does for you. So I'm going to take the text as this, and give a comma. My starting point is the find point that I've done right now. I'm going to give a comma there, and then I'm going to say I want 3 characters here. That's what I've said, that the len is continuous and it's similar here, it's not jumbled around here. So I'm going to close the bracket and give an enter. It's going to populate my data set in this list here. When I do that, the data extracts the data from my list, which is a little different here. So I'm seeing only hyphen 2, 3, not 2, 3, 4 here. So that's the extract that gives, because I never mentioned the search function to go by that way. Now I'm going to just say add one extra character here after the find function. That's going to extract my list here and get my result that I want here. But remember, I told you exact function will not allow us to do a formatting print. So it's going to give you a weird answer when I do that. So normally when I extract this data, say that it says true here, but unfortunately it is not true. If you see the data closely, the data that lies on my right hand side ID column is on the number format front, when this one is extracted in a text format because I use the text function to extract it. Again, if you want to make this as a number format, you have a lot of way to do it. I'm going to use one other way here in this list. I'll use the other way in the new functionality for us. I will just come back here. I will add a double minus in front of my formula. When I give an enter, that's going to populate and convert the whole data set into a numerical format here. Now the extract says true, and that is actually true in all dimension possible. this is how I extract the data. So I have the go-to way of doing it. So the first I use a find functionality here, then I use mid, then I use a mid function to extract the data exactly as 2, 3, 4 here, and finally I converted that into a proper format which allows me to match my VLOOKUP effectively. Excuse me, pardon me for that. I can achieve this with ease when I work on this list. Again, for this I'm going to use another formula here. Again, I'm going to use one of our list here. I'll say text after. Then I'm going to say I want to extract data. Let me just use the spell diary functionality better. Text after, select the whole data, comma, and I want a delimiter has to be the one which is here. We'll close the bracket and give an enter. That's going to extract the whole data from me. But I'm interested only in the first data set. So to make it better, I'll use text before in front of it, and then I'll give a comma and say please extract the data before the iPhone. So that's going to change the list. Again, this is also going to display this data in the same pattern. This time around, I'm not going to use double dash. I'm going to use divided by 1. So when I use a multiply by 1 or divided by 1, that's going to convert a text into a number, or you can even do multiply it by a 0 here. So that text format will be broken and become a numerical format for us. This is the way we can break a data without a fuss in text before and text after functions simultaneously. The last final function that I'm about to do right now, this is going to become even more complex because I'm neither going to use a left, nor I'm going to use a right, nor I'm going to use a middle here. But again, anyway, at the end of the day, I'm going to use the middle function to extract it. But this data is coming from the middle of the middle. If you see the P25R, C20 and Q20L comes in the middle of the middle here. So I'm going to copy this data and paste it here. So now I'm going to just use the function here. Again, here I cannot use search function because search function will only extract the leftmost part of a data here. It won't give me the data dimension that I'm looking forward in my list here. So this is where I'm about to improvise my formula a little differently here. So I'm taking a lot of formula here because it's an inside out formula that I'm going to break it in a bigger way. Let me show you how I'm going to use all these dimensions effectively. So let's see how we're going to use this dimension better here. First, I'm going to use a substitute function because search function can extract only the leftmost part of my hyphen here, not the rightmost part. In the previous two functionality, we only did the leftmost hyphen here. To do that, I'm going to improvise my data by using a substitute function. A substitute function is what we got earlier. Now that what is available for us in our text functionalities. So we will see how we're going to use it. So the text is this, and then I want to find out all my hyphens available here, and then I'm going to extract, or I'm going to replace that with hashtag here, but not in all instant, but only in the instant of 2 where I have B25R is getting started here. So when I close the bracket and give an enter, that's going to give you the output dimension for me here for the result. But again, the result is going to be a little different here because I'll be seeing the entire part number again where my hashtag is added in front of my B25R. You can use any other character also. Don't use special character like comma, maybe some other special characters don't use it. You can use number, you can use text in between instead of using this point. You can say GG, AB, DD, AD, BC, whatever you want to add in front of it, you can do that. I used a hashtag here. Now I am in a position to use the search function here, so I'm going to add a search function in front of it. Then I'm going to say I want to find out where is the hashtag is available from this substitute functionality here. So that's going to give you the number that I'm looking forward. Again, I have a custom format that comes into play. Let me convert that into numerical format here and change it everywhere, and then populate this formula here. So this is the second formula, which allowed me to find out the starting point of my formula here. Then I have to use a mid function here, so I'll see a mid function here. The text is this. Then I'm going to give a comma. The search and substitute function will deliver me the number B25R here. I'll give a comma. I'll give a 4 and close the bracket and give an enter. That's going to populate my data structure for me. Again, when I use the mid function, it starts from the hyphen here. I don't want that starting point from hyphen, so I'm going to just add another value here that's going to extract the data for me in the list here. This is the final formula that I want to achieve. So to achieve a data something like this, I have to spend a lot of time and then a lot of effort goes through the old school methodology, but when I do that in the new school method, I'm not going to do anything very big here. Let me just say equals. As usual, the TEXTAFTER function comes into play, comma. My delimiter is this. Then if you try the other one, let me just try this. Again, when I give a second option, or the first option is going to give you the same answer, so that's okay. Yes, I'm going to just say comma 2. And then I want to extract only B25 area. Let's say text before, comma the hyphen, close the bracket and give an enter. That's going to extract my data structure. And here again, I didn't use the inside out functionality to get these formulas separately, but I'm using text before and text after. While I use the text after, I use the second instant because I have multi-instant data here. I cannot use the first instant because then I have to use the text before really very oddly here. Let me try to do that one more dimension way. So I'll say text after, because I'm trying this for the first time, so I just got all of a sudden how it's going to work for us. Comma, and then I'll say I want this extension to come out, and I want to extend the second dimension. Or if I don't give anything here, it's going to extract all the hyphenation data for me here. And now I'll give the text before, and then I'm going to say I want to extract the data hyphen after the second instant. Okay. Sorry, I think that I'm selecting all the data here. Sorry about that. Before hyphen. So again, this is not working in the way in which I wished to be. Yes, it's not working for me in that way that I'm looking for. So text before. So again, I'm doing it in a much more cumbersome way. So the one which I did earlier was the best option to achieve it. So I preferably stick to that as a dimension here, because I'm trying to do too much of things in a single point. So this is how we use it. Hope you guys learned two more dimensional function. Now I've used left, right, mid, search, find, substitute. I even added two more formulas here, the len and exact, to find whether the answer is correct or not. And now I replace that with a new functionality called text before and text after. Hope you guys learned whatever we have learned today. This is Vinod signing off from iSelf Academy Excel EUS Series 3.0, video number 2.1. See you soon with more data. I'm trying to play around with some stock histories using Excel. Thank you so much. See you soon.